Welcome, everybody. This is our third session for Houzz Pro Build Academy. We're here to talk about design tools, time and expenses, tasks, our timeline scheduling tool, and reports. My name is Liza Hausman. I'm the Vice President of Industry Marketing here at Houzz, and I'm your host today. And I'm here with Emily Draper, who is a Senior Client Success Manager. Really one of my favorite people here at Houzz, does an amazing job with her clients. They rave about her all the time. And she's incredibly knowledgeable about our product. So Emily, very excited to have you here today. A little bit of housekeeping. Please use the Q&A tab if you have questions as we go. I'll be reading them, answering them, fielding them to Emily when relevant. So please use that Q&A tab if you have questions. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Emily to kick our session off. Thanks, Emily.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the introduction. I'm going to start by actually just sharing our screen and talking about essentially what we're going to be covering today. And let me get that started. Basically, just to set the agenda for this portion of the webinar, we're going to be doing the client dashboards, running reports, tips and tricks for the 3D floor plan tool, website services, and at the end, we'll reserve some time for some Q&A. So I'm going to share my screen right now. Give me a second here. I did want to mention, Liza gave me this wonderful introduction, and I really wanted to tell you guys, I'm super excited to be a part of the webinar today. I have been with Houzz for several years, and I've been able to see just essentially the development of Houzz Pro from start to now what it's evolved to. And just to be a part of that has been so exciting. And just to see the continuous development of this and sharing this continuously with my clients and how they're implementing this on their day-to-day has been really, really exciting and cool. And why I still love to come to work every day and why I get excited to work with professionals just like you. So without further ado, just getting started for this portion, we're right here on the Houzz Pro homepage. And the first thing that I was going to be covering again is the client dashboard. What is amazing about this is you can access this by going to the projects tab here at the top. Once you get to the projects page, you will have several different ways that you can, again, access this. But I'm just going to click into this first project here, this Gerber home remodel. And speaking a little bit about this preliminary, the client dashboard is essentially that centralized ultimate communication between you and your client. This tool can be used with the home professionals and the homeowners to keep everything streamlined, cohesive, all of your communication, where essentially you can collaborate with them on a project, give them updates on a project, and just really keep them informed of everything that you need to, and make sure they're super satisfied as the progression of that project start to finish. Here at this page on their quick access overview page, you'll see already here as a couple items that have been worked on recently on this overview. Right here is an example of an estimate, some message history, other things that could be incorporated into that client dashboard, such as images. And I'm going to scroll back up here to the top and show you just over here, if you did need to, top right-hand side of the screen, you can see my mouse is hovering over the edit. And then to the right of that is invite subs or vendors. You can invite subcontractors or vendors to also collaborate on the client dashboard on projects. And you can, again, share this client dashboard with your homeowners that you're working with. Just to start, I wanted to start here at this edit. Again, if you wanted to make any edits to this generalized client page, or client details, or add any additional email addresses, you could do that here. You'll also be able to find the budget of this project. If you haven't already, you can set up online payments and then additional info as well. Scrolling back up here to the top, you could also assign different project signees here. And then exiting out of this page, before we actually go into some of the specifics of the dashboard, I mentioned that you can actually invite subcontractors, vendors, or even team members. I want to show you how to do that first off. So at the top of this page here, on the right-hand corner over your logo, you would just simply click that with your mouse and then come to the Houzz Pro settings. Once in the Houzz Pro settings, you can come down to the team members tab here and then click into this. And at that point, you'll be able to see either team members here at the top or subcontractors and vendors that you may want to invite to projects. I already have a team member here that I have activated. And if I come to the ellipses on here on this side, this is where I'll be able to edit or remove or deactivate a team member. I'm going to select edit so you can see this view. And this is where you can select those permissions to give them access to certain aspects of your projects. Once you hit the save button here at the bottom, this will save any of your changes. And the reason I bring this up is because this is how you can essentially choose which information that you want to share with team members, subcontractors, vendors, things like that. Coming back here to the Gerber project homepage and going into a couple other things worth mentioning. So if I come over to the client dashboard at the top right-hand corner and hit share dashboard, you'll be able to see this homepage for this client dashboard. Up here in the top would be where your logo is, so everything is branded. At the right or to the left of the screen, this is just the home page. You'll be able to see any open documents. This is actually an estimate that I had put together for this example today. And you'll see that I'm waiting for this client to approve this document. You'll also be able to see the second tab. This is the messaging section for where you can write, and this will actually keep a full history of the correspondence between you and the client and everything that you have kind of talked on with throughout that project.
Emily, one thing I wanted to point out, because it comes up often, is that the only thing that shows up by default in the client dashboard are the messages that you have exchanged with your client. Everything else that Emily's going to show you here, you have to toggle on and say, yes, I want to share this with my client. And when you click this Share Client Dashboard button, as it says at the top, Preview Client Dashboard, this is the really important tool that lets you make sure that what shows up here is what you want to be sharing with your client. And Emily can show you after she goes through this, if there's something on here that you didn't intend to share, how you turn that element off. So if you don't want to share the schedule or if you don't want to share financials, you don't have to enable those.
Exactly. And I was actually going to go through some of those features here in just a moment, and we can walk through the different access points on the home screen. So there's a couple of those things, again, with the financials, your timeline, and daily logs, where you can pick and choose to give them those permissions. Great question. Keep them coming. Wonderful. So again, this is the main correspondence between you and the client. As you see, I could share an image here by just simply clicking. You can upload different images or attach different files if need be. And then also even sharing links as well. So once you correspond with the client, as mentioned, it'll keep all of that history. You can pick and choose. With financial documents, things like that, and financial reports, you'll be able to see things like if I need to have an estimate approved. If on the right-hand side here, just starting up here at the top of the screen, you'll be able to see that I could share this as an email or a shareable link. So you'll be able to also just share this as a link if need be. But then you could pick and choose which elements of the project totals you would like to share, whether it's the total outstanding, total paid, total retainer balance, and total available credit. Below that, you'll see just the basic email details. So where you could have the main contact here. If you wanted to add anybody to this email, you could add that to them as well. You can change the subject line. And then you can also, there's a preset message here, but of course, feel free to make adjustments with that and customize that based on what you want to communicate with a client. And then this is also a great feature where you could have this also sent back to you as reference and a copy of that email for your own record. And then simply you would hit send when you're ready to send them that information. The third item down here is timeline. Timeline is going to be covered on different aspect of the webinar, but that is something that's super exciting to be able to share within this dashboard to have that full transparency of your project if you choose to. Again, you'll be able to add permissions and make adjustments if needed, but you can have your different timeline aspects and the project progression timeline with the different things lined out for them of what they could see. And then attachments, we did cover that with the messaging. Again, I added a screen shot of a different image for just, again, communication and collaboration that you could add. And then last but not least, the daily logs. The daily logs are really a great way to communicate the day in and day out progression of that project. This is where you could essentially add things like images of progression photos or any renderings that you have, and then any other just basic information of things that happened on the job site that day. Visitors, weather, recaps, pending actions, an overview of the work, and of course, the detail of which project we're associating that with, time-stamped as well.
And Emily, this comes up a lot, really as kind of a good and important insurance measure. So real best practices for a lot of firms is to document everything that happened on the project. And that way, if there is anything that comes up later where the client says something didn't happen and you have it documented here, it really is an important insurance measure and something that we highly recommend that if firms aren't doing it now, it's a nice to have to keep the client updated. But it's almost a must-have from an insurance standpoint to make sure that you're really buttoned up and can prove that things happened over the course of the project.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Thank you. So wonderful. So that's basically the visuals of this. Now let me go back to the project overview page just to show you where you can add in certain access points with the timeline. If you came down here to the timeline feature, again, this is where you kind of get to pick and choose what part of that project you might want to share, different aspects of it. To the right, as at the top of or midway through the screen here, you'll see that this is where if I click on this is where I'm going to have essentially a two-part authentication for what I would like to share and what I would like to keep private. So the first access point is the client view dashboard. And if I come over to the access tab, it has a drop down where I can show them basic client information, basic main items without sub items and dependencies. If I want to get more detailed, I of course could click the detailed version of that, which would give them access to all items, including sub items and dependencies. And then of course, no access if I would not like them to see this. Similar here, you'll also be able to do this for team members if you give them permissions, where we were at earlier in the first, whenever we were at the Teams page, to give them specific access for specific team members, vendors, or contractors, you can give them access or no access, making it visible to see and engage with certain parts of your project.
Emily, we've got a question and I'd love to clarify this. So I just want to let folks know the view that you're seeing now is your own view within your own, project view of Houzz Pro. This is you as the pro. When you click Share Client Dashboard, and Emily, do me a favor and click Share Client Dashboard up on the big blue button on the right again. This is how you can show see exactly what your client is going to see. So the only way that they would see this menu on the left is if you had already given them permission the way that Emily just demonstrated within each of these areas. So you have to go into the timeline and turn on Share to Client Dashboard. You have to, they will see, like, again, if you've sent an estimate and it's something that you've already shared with them because you've emailed it to them or you've published it to them, that will show up under financials, but they're not going to see anything that you have not explicitly shared. And again, doing this preview is the best way to see exactly what your client will see when you do share it with them.
Wonderful question. So coming back over here to that, just reiterating, this is the section where you would give them those permissions for that project. So it shows up on the client dashboard over here. Again, where you could invite subs. And then on the left, again, if I were here on the overview page for the full project, this is where I would come down to essentially the daily logs. And again, this is where I could share the daily logs here. Once I click this to give them access for certain things, that's where they can do that. And then after giving access, you can see that they have access. It will show up in that shared view. Any last questions on this section before moving on?
Nope, I think we're good.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to come back here to the Houzz Pro homepage. And the second portion of what we're going to be talking about is here on the homepage is our reporting, our financial reports. So this is going to be accessed if you're here on the Houzz Pro homepage, and at any point you can always click this on the left-hand side of any screen, and it'll take you back to the central location where you can have access to the different tabs at the top. For the reports, the financial reports, that will be in the Manage feature and the drop down for that. And then I'm going to simply come down to the financial reports. For this is, again, where you can find a more in-depth, this is a more in-depth report for each of these three different components. Here, the first tab is the payments report. This is simply a detailed report of all of your incoming and outgoing payments and amounts invoiced and remaining liability. To access this, you simply would just hit View Report. The second section is going to be the transactions. Transactions report is going to be incoming transactions by reports and a detailed summary of your incoming grouped by project. You can customize the report to view invoices only for that project or for all incoming documents. Again, you can customize these reports by hitting View Report. And then below that is the report for outgoing transactions by project. This is a detailed summary of your outgoing transactions grouped by project. And you can summarize that report as well to view billed or non-billed purchase orders. So this is a great way to essentially just keep track of the incoming money that's coming in from clients and the outgoing transactions by projects. And you simply would just click into each of those reports to have that generated for you. And then the last but not least is going to be the general. This section here, you will have general time billing by team member. This is a detailed report of how much time you and your team have tracked grouped by a team member. So by a specific project or by different projects they're working on. And then below that is time billing by project, a detailed report of how much time you and your team member have tracked by grouped project. One thing that's great about this is that, again, you can keep track of your employees' timekeeping by the project or by individual, different projects they could be working on. But then each of these sections also has a description below it. So it tells you exactly what these reports are, and you can go in and manipulate whatever information you might need for those different reports. Any questions?
We're good. I promise I'll interrupt you when they come up.
Okay, so just from that point, again, coming back, just because we have a lot of information to cover today, want to stay on track and make sure that we get through everything that we want to cover. And Again, now we get to go into some more exciting things with the design tools and things that I really think will help set you apart from your competition. And that is going to be, again, if you come back to the Houzz Pro homepage, if you're following along maybe on your own screen, you can go simply to this design tab here. And we're going to talk about 3D floor plans. The 3D floor plans, it's going to take us to this homepage. But before we do that, I want to just kind of show this video in the background briefly while I'm talking through the main key points. What is so exciting about this and what I love about this, it's going to be able to bring your plan to life for your clients. You can access this with your mobile phone or using your iPad and go into a space and actually with your phone or iPad, scan a room with our new augmented reality and be able to start that initial plan from that point. I'm going to pause this here and then come back to this screen. What's exciting about this is a lot of builders that are your competitors are probably not utilizing a feature like this. And if you're really looking to wow your clients, this will set you apart and help you to stand out to win more jobs and help you to strengthen your proposal to them. But also, again, it's a great interactive way that you can be on site to actually make adjustments then and there to win this job over and close more deals. So starting here again on this page, I wanted to bring up a few key points worth mentioning. If you did do that 3D scan with your cell phone or with your tablet iPad or with the iPad, that image would populate here. This is also going to be here on the homepage where it would store all of your 3D images that you've worked on historically for any of your projects that you could have a quick access for. The other thing that I want to mention, if you're ready to start a new plan to present to a client, maybe you're right there with them and you have your iPad out, you could start a new plan by accessing here at Add a Floor Plan, or to the right of the screen on the top right-hand corner, New Floor Plan. For this demonstration, I'm just going to click here, and you'll see that this opens up a freestanding window where you can start this initial plan. A couple things worth mentioning just again, right off the bat to help identify this specific plan. You can give this plan a title on the top left-hand corner. So you'll know exactly which project you're associating this with. I'm just going to put together bathroom design, and then I'm going to put Houzz Pro demo for mine. Once I've created that, I wanted to mention right below that, this is timestamping it. So it'll keep an accurate timestamp of that. Sometimes that can be helpful, especially if you're wanting to know which project you worked on last. And for quick access, to the right of this, again, this is going to show you 3 different perspectives. We have a floor plan view, which would be a top to bottom view. So once I start adding in products down here, you'll be able to see what that would look like as if I was looking down and being able to demonstrate that. The Dollhouse View is going to give that bird's eye view where you can, again, change and rotate around. At the top, if you go to walk through, this one, again, is... Right now, of course, I don't have anything in here, but when you get items in here, this is going to be probably the most impressive view. You'll be able to really visualize this space or bring your visualization to life for your clients. Super exciting. I'm going to click back to the floor plan view, but let's go over here to the right-hand side again, over here to the actions button. If I click this, just worth mentioning, this is easy access to create a new template or to duplicate a template. This is probably a super popular button here. If you have essentially the meat and bones of a template that you're working on and you use that design frequently, or you could use it frequently as a basic plan, you can go in and remanipulate it, but duplicate the initial plan and make it what you would like for that new presentation for another client. And we see this used quite frequently. The other items are pretty self-explanatory. One thing worth mentioning, there is a tutorial button down here that is helpful. Again, an access for some guidance on the spot. To the right of that at the top is a share button. I love this because you can just simply copy this link and you could send this in an email or you could send this in a text. And if I come back here, you can see exactly what your homeowner would see when presenting to them. So again, it'll have the name of that project here, and then it'll give them the 2D version of this, as well as that bird's eye view or a more realistic walkthrough view. Of course, it'll be more stunning once you add in products. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to come back over here. And before I do add in products, one thing I wanted to mention with the last two buttons, again, pretty self-explanatory. Load will be able to load any project I want it to if I wanted to access and work from a previous project, or save. This will automatically save. However, if you like to just ensure that it's saving, you have the ability just to click that button. All right, so now back over to the left of the screen. I'm going to start with a couple of these other buttons just to kind of run through the basics of them. This first one is a select. And when I select this, you can see right away, it will, to the right, it will identify that this is the floor that I've selected. And if I hit select flooring, you can actually pick from the flooring library, either wood floor planks that you'd like to use, tile, or carpet. We have a very wide variety of different tiles that are extremely, they continue to add to this and build on this constantly. So this is somewhere where I would encourage you to, if you have something in mind, like a certain style that you're looking for, maybe a more modern or something even more specific like marble, you can simply add that into the search bar and you can search for that something specific. For this example, I'm just going to select this beautiful blue marble tile for the flooring. And then once I add that, just to show you, this is how you can see what that would look like in the Dollhouse View. Looks really nice. I'm going to click back to my 2D floor plan. And then I wanted to mention again, back at the top left-hand corner of the screen, you can see that I'm hovering here with the different buttons. If I wanted to add on, for example, maybe a closet or something, I could add that here by just simply adding a wall. I would click over to the side, and then I could add that space in. Now, for this example, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to hit undo, undo, undo. And then if you wanted to redo that, you could do that. But you have the ability to add on additional rooms and spaces and manipulate them based on what your goals are for that project. Here, these couple buttons at the top, this is going to be, where you could change this from meters to feet. We're going to be working out of feet today. So just know that you have the ability to make that adjustment. And then you'll see the magnifying glass. This says exactly what it is. If you have different rooms and on this floor plan, if you want to get back to the center, this is just a great way to make that centralized back to the center of the plan. And then if you wanted to zoom in, of course, there's the magnifying glass with the plus, and then the magnifying glass with the minus feature there within the magnifying glass to zoom out. The next thing over to the right-hand side, if I wanted to change the ceiling height, which I do, if I wanted to make this a little bit taller, I have the ability to manipulate the structure perimeters here. And this is super helpful because not every space is, of course, it needs to be changed based on what your goals are. So you can do that. You can also select the different walls. And if you need it to change the thickness of these or the feet and inches, you have the ability to do that. And then if I want to come back to the other structure perimeters here, I'm going to start adding in just a couple basic things like doors. I'm going to add a door to my bathroom design, and I'll start with this door 3 panel. Once I add this, I just simply click here within here. And again, With the structures, this what I love about this gives, with all of these different aspects, the doors, windows, staircases, partitions, indoor fireplaces. These are all basic space holders for things that would essentially look closest to what you're trying to emulate for your client. So it gives a really great representation of that and how you can showcase that in your plan. I'm going to flip this around and then add this to a wall. You'll see that was really easy to attach to the wall. And once I have it attached, I'm going to come back over to the right-hand side. And this is where, if you need to make any adjustments with the dimensions, with the width or height, you have the ability to do so. And a way to, again, we're going to talk about finishes next. What I love about this is I can really bring my plan to life by selecting door finishes and paint colors and things like that. So I could either do a selected door finish or a paint color. We have a partnership with Benjamin Moore. And what's exciting about that, when I select in this, you can see this huge array of different colors that you can literally toggle to any of these different color palettes, and it will start to show you what colors are available for that. And there is a wide range of those different colors. For this project, I'm just going to come down to the Simply White and use that for my door. And then I'm going to select my knob finish here. When I click into this, again, you'll see the different knob finish options available. I'm going to do the satin nickel for this example today. And then after I'm finished with my door, I can X out of that. And the next thing I want to do is add in some windows. So again, you can see here on the right-hand side as I scroll up and down, these are all different placeholders that you could use for a bathroom window, a house window, anything that you're looking for. I'm going to use this window example for our design today. And once I add this in, you can see that it easily will grab onto whichever wall that you would like it to add on to. Once you have it in place where you would like it, you can adjust that width or the height. And then the other thing that's really important here to keep in mind is the position to the floor. So this is going to have the distance from the floor. Right now, it's a little bit too close to the floor for me. So I'm going to just show you by changing that simply to a desired distance from the floor, how easy it is to change that. And then I can check that with my Dollhouse View. Yes, that looks good. And you can also see, again, the details from your different finishes with the satin knob and the white door, and then the flooring as well. While we're in this screen, this is the screen where you could actually add in some paint color for the walls. So if you're in this view, you're not able to do that. You'll need to select and toggle over to the Dollhouse View to select a wall. And this is where you, again, can access that Benjamin Moore library and pick a color for your walls. I'm going to go with the Simply White just for this example. And if I want to, you can see paint multiple walls by holding down the Shift key and selecting the walls. So if I wanted to do that, I could do that as well. And you'll see that it grabs that for me. Coming back to that floor plan, I'm just going to simply click back here to the right and exit out of the flooring and out of the windows. And the next thing I wanted to mention, again, we're not going to be using these for this example, but some new exciting features that are available are staircases. Super cool to do staircases. You can add these in for your projects if you need it to. And then also, again, some of these other items like indoor fireplaces. These are some new additions that you can find that best identify with your plan for your client. Up at the top, again, right-hand side, I'm going to start adding in a couple products. This tab here is, again, just a generalized product library of different things, everything from bathroom products, bedroom furniture, closet storage, all the way to items like plants, shelving, and pet supplies. They literally have thought about just about everything. And they're continually adding to this. That's what's exciting. This is the one area that I have seen, even in the past few weeks, just continually the development and adding and improvement of adding more products and from feedback from professionals just like yourselves. So there's lots of great things that you could choose from as placeholders to show a place in that space. For this example, I'm going to select my bath products. I'm just going to add an oval tub. I'm going to scroll down here to add in a toilet. And then I will just move that tub to the left-hand side of my design, rotate it left so I can place it against the wall. And then if I wanted to bring my toilet, I can, of course, rotate. Oh, not duplicate. You have the ability to duplicate, but I only need one toilet for this design. But then I can rotate that to the left again, and then slide that in where I would like that placed. Just to check the space out, I can toggle back here to the Dollhouse View to see how that looks. If I want to go into the walkthrough view, again, of course, I could go into that walkthrough view. I'm going to click back to the floor plan and then slide over to the right-hand side at the top right of the screen. Right beside products is source. This is
Emily?
Exciting. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Before we leave products, because there's so much richness there, can you show what's in kitchens? I think it's worth showing people because we're seeing a lot of kitchens and bathrooms being created using this tool. Again, this tool is really to help you sell in your ideas to your clients. But the level of base cabinets, the finishes of the wood, the hardware you can choose is very detailed. Maybe not appliances, but maybe just show some of the cabinets and base cabinets we have. Mm-hmm. Right now, we don't have custom cabinets, but that is coming. But just so folks see, there's a ton of detail. You can put in islands, and it's a very, very robust tool.
This is. And you can also, if you need it to, so for example, have a certain size, you could always put in certain size measurements in here and it would pull up that essentially the options available for that or make adjustments for your base cabinets. Again, you can see the different variety of styles here and, you can make adjustments based on that.
Emily, we did have a question come in about ceilings. So the question was about a vaulted ceiling. Now we don't show ceilings in our Dollhouse View, but you can adjust wall heights so that one wall is higher than another wall. That basically will allow you to design around. At least an A-frame. If there's a vaulted ceiling in the middle, again, right now we're not showing ceilings because they're a single level.
Wonderful.
Let's see. And then we had another question. How much detail can we add, Rita wants to know, to one wall? So can you put in a niche?
Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to say, I have actually a couple examples just so you can see
Great.
here. This is actually a little bit more built out. And then this is kind of a medium build that I had worked on. And then this is even more elaborate here, which again, when you're with your clients, this is what's going to really wow your clients. This aspect where you can add in the lights, you can add in that farmhouse sink or the kitchen hood or the different knob finishes and colors of the cabinets, from everything from the bar stools to the refrigerator to the different appliances to carpets. And again, coming back over to the different rooms, you can also, again, be able to take this and when you're with the clients, you'll be able to show what this looks like in a life-size walkthrough with clients. And this will set you apart from your competition. This is, again, things that once you develop this out, you'll be able to collaborate with the clients initially, but then present it to them with this augmented reality that can take that space to the next level and really make their project feel like they're already living in that space. Super exciting. And these links are also, again, available on our YouTube channel where you can see this, but also already available on your own Houzz Pro app where you can play with this now. Which I'm sure many of you are going to start doing as soon as the webinar is finished. Any other questions about that before? I did want to cover a few more aspects on this because
there's one related, but I think you can go to source. There are questions around
exactly
picking tile and mosaic and what can you apply and where does it come from? Yes.
Totally. So I was going to get back to this project. When you're sourcing different, so other than products, again, these are going to just be generalized placeholder products here within the product list. But if you want something specific that you're sourcing that's actually real, for example, like area rugs, you can source anything that it would be on essentially the Houzz library, and you can find examples that would look really emulate exactly what you're essentially trying to go for. It could be anything from lighting to bathtubs, area rugs. Let me go ahead and show you a couple of these other things like if I put in bathtub, you can see all these different examples. Again, also everything from, wall art, things like that. There's so many different examples of different source products that you could find to really make that project come to life and have more depth. I've added in a couple area rugs for this project, the chairs, again, the lighting, all of these different things are things that, and same with this, the same with this scene here, you can really bring things to life with your different aspects of it. Again, wall art, tables, chairs, whatever it might be, you can really highlight that. And then again, whenever you share this with your clients, this is the share view. This is what they can see on that two-dimensional view, the dollhouse view, and their walkthrough view. And then when you're with the client, you can show them the augmented reality view. Is there any questions about this?
Yes, we have a few questions. And one, folks, if you can put your questions in the Q&A versus the chat, that would be awesome. But Emily, someone would like to see a shower. If you can add a shower in there, what that looks like. And then I can answer this one. So the question is, can the app create automatically a material and product list? The reason that we don't do that is because most of the 3D models are generic. While we do pull in as much as we can from the Houzz marketplace to give you more options, it isn't comprehensive enough to really be used to generate the material list. However, you can use it in conjunction with our Clipper tool and the product library and the mood boards. And our mood boards do let you put in the very specific products that you're specifying and generate a material list and a budget from that. Let you show the shower. And then, yes, I think people would like to see how you change the height of a wall when you get a second, Emily.
Oh, yeah. So this is the shower example. Of course, again, this is just a space holder. If you need to make adjustments to it, you could. Let me come back actually in the floor plan here. But you could essentially show them that view and make adjustments if needed. There's other examples again here. These are just different placeholders for things. Let me see. Coming back to you said what was it?
Yeah,
the
wall height.
ceiling?
Yeah, the wall height.
So yeah, if you want to, you can essentially click onto a wall and even change the different the feet of that wall or the inches. the thickness. There's every aspect of this. You essentially can manipulate that to make it customized for your project to fit those dimensions for the room that you need. And again, back to the scanning feature that I showed earlier, if you're able to go and scan the room, you can also start by scanning that actual space and creating that 3D floor plan from that scanned space image, which it will store, and you can start working from there and make any adjustments if needed. Is that helpful?
Yep, that is helpful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I was just going to say the other thing that just to mention again, just with structures, if you are wanting to do the ceiling for that room, you could do it back at that structure perimeters, but essentially just that's where you would do the height for the total ceiling there, or with the walls. You also have the ability to drag and drop them. So just being able to manipulate a space based on that as well is something that, feel free to change and drag and drop. It's really user friendly to change the sizes and spaces and shapes.
Great.
Yeah. And then again, if you're sourcing things, again, you can just find anything from, if it is on Houzz and it's available, you can essentially add many of these items from the source library. You can filter things from anything from category, popular sizes, colors, shapes, styles, material, all of these different things. You can also use certain keywords. So it helps you to save time, and you can source by kitchen or by bedroom or whatever it might be. And you can start adding in these different items. So just know that the searchability factor is fantastic within the source, and you're really able to go through and even find things on sales, any of these additional things like customer ratings or brands. There's a lot of different ways to use the filters to find exactly what you would like. And it's nice. And this is just a pretty simplistic plan right now that we're working on for this demonstration. But as you start working on these plans, they'll develop out and grow into more detail. And once you start playing with these things again, you'll notice how user-friendly it is and how you can manipulate the plan to best represent your visualization for that project. Okay, so again, just for time's sake, are there any other questions for that part? Okay, we're going to move on. So that's essentially 3D floor plan. Once you're finished with it, again, you can share that with your clients in the link, or of course, everything will be saved to that homepage. But now let's go ahead and move on to, again, one of the other aspects, the other exciting aspects of that's included with your account, which is our website services. And to access this back on the Houzz Pro homepage, you would go to the marketing tab and come down to your website. When you are here on your website, this is essentially going to show you some different templates. And before we kind of get into this, I just wanted to mention website services are so important, and websites in general for a business are extremely important. They are essentially the movie trailer for your business. I talk to my clients about this in the meetings I have with them daily, and about the importance of having a website that is not only relevant for your business and for our industry, but having key content in there that really helps you to stand out. And just to statistically throw some information to you, 38% of people, if they are not captivated right away by your website, they're going to move on to the next. And this is why it's so important to have a strong, visually appealing website. And that's what I love about our company, is that we actually provide this service for our home professionals. Here you'll see a couple different templates here. And you can start by just clicking and engaging and looking at templates that you might want to use. And then the other thing I wanted to highlight at the bottom, once you do decide that you want to move forward with a website, The reason that it's exciting about partnering with Houzz is that our website team not only builds the site, we can host the site and we can help manage the site. And that is extremely beneficial. This is extremely beneficial for you because you don't have to. What you can do is essentially, if you have things that you want to showcase on there, you can tell our website team and we can make a specific page for that. And then anytime that you update your Houzz profile, it will automatically update your Houzz website. Again, other reasons that you would want to essentially choose one of these sites is, again, they're focal to our industry. And once you click on one of these examples, it's going to actually take you to this essential landing page where you can kind of look at the different variety on the left-hand side and toggle between different templates and see what would best fit you and your business. Each of these templates are going to be SEO friendly templates that are also have a great appearance on a desktop, but also are mobile friendly. And this is super important. And one of the things that will, again, help you stand out from your competition, and why I love the different Houzz things that we offer with this service. Again, this is just the essential meat and bones of what as an example for a landscape professional, but each of these areas are going to be specific for you and your business and completely customizable. Once you select a template, this is an example of what it would look like once you select a template. This is my Bentley's Builders account. So this is my demo account. And again, up at the top here, a couple things worth mentioning. You can have as many tabs as you'd like. There's no set on tabs. And this is really important because a lot of website companies will charge you once you surpass like 3 tabs. And you can have as many as you want. There's no limit on photos. There's no limit on videos. This is huge. And videos and video engagement are the way of the future, and ways that will essentially help you stand out from your competition. Again, each of these different, again, this is Bentley's Builders. You would have the ability to customize this for your business. And you'll see as I'm scrolling through this, once I had selected, I can add different information at those access points that have plus buttons. This has been made super user-friendly so that you can essentially pick different selections based on information you would like to share about your businesses, past, present, or future. So you can share images, banners. This gives you text examples where you can add this information in. And if I added that in, it would give you that placeholder for that. Because I don't actually have any projects, that wasn't the best example. So let me show you the banner example. How if I add that in, it'll create a banner. If I want to even edit this beyond that point, I can change things from like background, choosing another image for my projects, images. If you're just starting off and don't have a lot of images for your business yet, that's okay. We've got you covered. We have stock photos that we could use as placeholders in the meantime to help showcase that you're either a home remodeling professional, landscape professional, whatever it might be. So again, up here at the top left-hand corner, just to kind of go through some of this basic stuff, here you could manipulate different sections that you are working on. If I want to go to specific pages, I could just simply go to those pages. I'm going to stay on this page, but if I click that, it will go back to that page. And then styles. This is really noteworthy, worth mentioning. This is where you can essentially go through and dictate the different type of styles for your background, navigation, colors, text, any of these different things, how you want the font for your logo to be. So if you click on any of these things, you can manipulate that. You can manipulate the size or letter spacing, things like that. It is customizable. Last page here, this is essentially where you would configure your site to make it published to the public. You can, if you already own your own domain, of course, our website team can work with you so that you can keep your own domain, and we can work to just make sure that this goes live. Again, if you don't own a domain right now, that's a benefit. We can host you, and at any point, if you'd like to have ownership over that, you could have that. And then the other thing worth mentioning here is if I'm working on developing this out, you can always, any progress that you make, you could hit save. And if you're not really ready for the public to see that, you do not have to hit publish. When you hit publish, that's when it goes live to the internet. After that, of course, you could always still delete it and then hit save and publish again if you wanted to remove it. But just letting you know, if you're working on building out a page, it doesn't have to go. This is something that is a continuous progression as your business develops. I just wanted to show, again, this is just a foundational example of one of the templates. I wanted to show a couple examples of what is actually possible. And I have a couple of websites that I have examples of. So the first one here is actually a design build firm that is based out of Southern California. I did a consultation with this client and helped them with their client, help this client with their website to really give it that Southern California theme and that vibe. Their whole goal is to attract this so-called audience and showcase the different work examples that they want to show. But you can see all of this, again, from the backgrounds to adding in their badges, things like that. These are things that can help set you apart from your competition. All of the different tabs on here are focal to our industry. So services, design, build, ADUs, their gallery, their story, all of these things, again, will help set you apart from your competition and tell your story from the past, present, and future for your business, which is essentially, again, going to help set you apart and make you stand out within your local community. The last thing I was going to say is everything also ties back to you. This is where people can easily click to connect with you on the phone or message you directly. And we also will help provide some analytics on this and how many times people are contacting you from your websites. How many times are they clicking from your house profile to your actual site and engaging you or filling out this? You can also track those things as well. Super exciting. So this was one that I helped a client build, but I wanted to show you, I essentially helped this client with the initial part, but this client did most of this themselves. And it shows you how easy it is to take and manipulate the website services, where you can either have someone like myself, a client success manager, help you, the website development team help you, or even take the ownership of doing this yourself. This site is very beautiful. I was excited for this professional to really take the reins themselves and I was just excited to see all the developments that they did themselves. And I was proud of them and was excited. I took a 30-minute call and walked them through the basics and they ran with it. So just wanted to show you what was possible with that. Again, that you can add things in like a fax page, contact us. All of these things, you can completely customize that. And that's basically it. It's the main point is it's super easy to use. And this is a feature that we offer that is included with your subscription and things that will help you stand out from your other competitors. I did want to also mention, just back at the Houzz Pro homepage here, there were a couple other things. Did anybody have questions on the website services before I move on?
I think we're good. Got them covered.
Perfect. Okay, so the last things that I did want to mention, just so you know, at any point here on the Houzz Pro homepage, that is the biggest thing that you have the benefit of is you have a partnership with a client success manager. And what is the benefit of that? The benefit is that you can have someone like myself actually schedule time and make time to walk you through the ins and outs of this. If you have additional questions, if you go to the homepage here, you can come over to the help tab. Because I'm in my demo account, it's not going to populate and show, but normally my photo would be up here and my scheduling link. So you can access your client success manager's calendar here. If you're not an Ultimate Pro now, this is more of a reason why you should be and why you're going to get that hand-to-hand help and get you over any questions and help you through the full process of your end-to-end solution experience. The other things that I wanted to bring up here is, again, within this, we have our help center, our video tutorials, which I definitely, again, this is one of my favorite pages within Houzz. Everything that is included with your account and that we covered today is going to be here on our video tutorials page. Everything from getting started to our 3D floor planner. And this will give you a step-by-step hand-holding experience to walk you through so that you can use these features and bring them to life for your projects and win more projects every single day. Back here at the homepage again, last thing to mention is I wanted to show you, because we are ever evolving and always adding new products and making changes to different aspects of our platform. The biggest thing to stay on top of all of that is going to be what's new in Houzz Pro. So if you go to the icon on the top right-hand corner, this will show you exactly where to go to find out new information of the different things that we have just launched. For example, that life-size walkthrough that we covered for the 3D floor planner. This will give you all of that information and more.
So Emily, we did have a question about setting ceiling height. I don't know if we can jump back into the 3D floor planner, but basically when you're looking at the room as a whole, so if you don't, click X, you can see ceiling height there, and you can set the ceiling height at this level. The other thing, go into wall partitions down below. So we've also added wall partitions and pony walls. So you can have a short wall or a pony wall if you need to in the space. Emily, if you click on the Dollhouse View real quick, let's just check this out. If you click on a single wall,
you can change the thickness, the size and direction of the wall, and then also the paint color.
Yeah, but right now it's one ceiling height.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, we had a great question about support, Emily. So Rita wants to know, we had at some times we need tech support sooner than we can schedule an appointment with our CSM. Can we call or chat directly? So let's show how that works.
Perfect. Yeah. So wonderful question. Here on the Houzz Pro homepage, everything great and wonderful. If you just go to the Houzz Pro homepage, it essentially is a great landing spot for most things that you need, or it's that centralized way to get to where you need to go. Houzz Pro support, you can contact here at the right-hand corner at the bottom of the page. This will load, and there's actually someone who will respond in real time to try to help you through, and you'll see, hey, you're up next. So essentially, if I have questions, it'll connect with someone, and they'll start chatting with you. Hey, I need help with software, update log information, questions about my membership or trial, questions about my payment, etc. So this is a great way to start that engagement. Additionally, if you, the help button or the help tab at the top of the screen, this is where if you are signed up and you already have a client success manager like myself, you'll be able to access this. And whenever you click that, it'll have their direct calendar link where you can link time on their calendar, or you could call them. And then it also will have the 833 number for support. Additionally, if you click into help, it'll take you to our Houzz Pro Help Center. Here, there's several different aspects where you could click into these things and you could start looking for the help and questions you might need. If that's still not what you're looking for, you could essentially find a look by topic here. And then once you select that, you could actually add a description and then submit that for someone to respond with you in a timely manner.
And thanks, Emily. One thing I want to emphasize is the chat is not a bot. So you can talk about our chat hours. We've expanded them pretty significantly. We do ask for that initial chat request, like if it's a tech question, that you just click software, because what we do is we route them to the right team. So somebody a real human being will start chatting with you. Just click software, ask your question, and you will get a real human being during a pretty broad set of business hours to answer your question right there. Or again, you can call that 833 number.
Wonderful. Last thing I was going to say, again, similar with the Houzz Pro tutorials and just from additional information. The other thing that I really think is very helpful for home professionals to check out is the Houzz Pro Learn. Again, a lot of the information that we've covered, there'll be different features, things that you can look up by feature here, which I absolutely love. And again, this is things that'll help you stand out for your clients, help you to win more projects, things that'll help you to work smarter, not harder, and essentially getting paid. These are very quick, to the point information tabs. So whenever you click on this, it'll give you the information you're looking for most of the time. And if not, again, you can always reach out, and it's very helpful. You can also toggle this by Houzz Pro News. Again, it'll show you all of the newest, latest, greatest things. Houzz Pro Business Management, success stories, tutorials, which I showed you already. And then last but not least, webinars. So yes, these are all things, again, that whenever you click into them, it'll be easy to access information that more than likely is available from there. And then if you need it to go a step beyond further, you can also submit a support inquiry. And you can also do this by topic. It has a drop-down menu. It doesn't look like it's showing for you guys, but it says anything from managing leads, estimates, takeoffs, mobile app, any of the different features that are available for you, and you need to submit a support inquiry. This is the place to do that. So under the help tab, you'll simply click support inquiry, and that's where you could get some additional support on that item. Does that help?
Super. Thanks, Emily.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I think we're good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks so much to you, Emily. Thanks everyone for joining. Again, we're recording the entire Build Academy this week, and we will send out a link to all 3 recordings as soon as we get those set up on a nice landing page for you, but it should be in the next week or so. So thanks again. Really appreciate the questions, and please don't hesitate to reach out with product feedback or support questions or anything else we can do to help. Thank you.